San Diego has a neighborhood that most people moving here completely overlook. It's got its own town center, top-rated schools, and insane views. But it also comes with wildfire risk, HOA fees, and the lifestyle that might not be for everybody. Today we're breaking down the pros and cons of living in San Elijo Hills and whether it is a hidden gem or one to avoid. I'm Cassie Lewis, this is Chris Erickson, and we are the Livin in San Diego real estate crew. We help a ton of people buy homes here in San Diego, and we've helped a lot of people move right here to San Elijo Hills. And some of the things you're gonna hear today is feedback from clients. Some of it is from me. I've lived here since 2009, so let's get into it right now.
So first off, where is San Elijo Hills? So you guys are watching this, you're like, okay, I know San Diego, but this is a very specific neighborhood. We like to get, deep dives into some of these places. Right now, we are in San Marcos, but people live in here, they say they live in San Elijo Hills. They're not like, I live in San Marcos. You're like, San Elijo Hills, people know exactly what you're talking about. When we talk about getting to the coast, you're like 20-ish minutes, would you say? Somewhere around there, depending on where you're going. But where's the best beach around? Probably shooting either down to Carlsbad or down to Cardiff. I don't know.
Yeah,
what's your commute looking like?
Yeah, that's about what it is. It's a little further to Cardiff, probably 30 minutes, but 20 minutes to get you to Ponto or probably Tamarack, somewhere in there too. And
now you are a little bit further from like the airport. We'll get into all that in a little bit, but let's say probably 45 to an hour, depending on traffic and whatnot, because there's no main freeways cutting through here. You're either gonna shoot north to the 78 freeway, or you're gonna take some side roads and go to the 5 freeway, kind of the same way you're gonna be going to the beach. So a little bit further, if you fly a lot, all that kind of stuff. Well, we're not getting the pros and cons yet. We'll get into that a little bit. But this is kind of like a master plan neighborhood built in the hills. When I grew up here on the other side of San Marcos, this was nothing. It was just a big hillside. It was all built in the early 2000s. Population here is right around 8 to 9,000, I would say, and a bunch of different little neighborhoods. And I know this is a pros and cons video, but at the end, we're gonna give you some price points, give you an idea of what we're looking at right now. But let's get into a few reasons why people love living right here.
First off, people love it because it's a self-contained community. And what I mean by that is you have pretty much everything you need on a daily basis right here in the town center of San Elijo Hills. You've got coffee shops, you've got a taco shop, you've got a couple restaurants, you've got 2 bars.
There's a little coffee stand. You see that set up down there?
Yeah, I haven't been there yet. Yeah, I want to try it out. Outside of Lost Abbey, which is a brewery down there, there's a little coffee stand. There's been more and more just kind of like pop-up stuff down there too, which is pretty cool. But really, you don't have to leave. I mean, that is, maybe we'll get into that in the cons, but you have to leave for Targets and Costco's and Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or something like that on a daily basis. If you're just getting down to the grocery store, if you're going out for a bite, you can really stay just in San Elijo Hills, which is a huge bonus.
I might go grab a breakfast burrito after this, actually, from Lourdes. It's a good little spot, good little Mexican place right in the center of town. There's a sushi spot, and then you have Lost Abbey. He mentioned the brewery. That's where we've had, every year we have a Pies and Pints party. We had that there about 2 years ago. There's another little brewery right up the road where we had it this year. Anyway, so there's enough stuff to self-contain. It's not huge town center, but it's enough to grab a quick bite after practice and whatnot with the kids.
Shane's is the pizza place I just mentioned, and it ends up being kind of the party central for after soccer seasons or baseball seasons. We spend a lot of time at Shane's.
Another reason people love living here is the views and the setting. You think of San Diego, you're thinking palm trees, you're thinking beach vibe. This is more of a mountain vibe. I don't know, you guys can kind of see right behind us, we're surrounded by a lot of pine trees. Pine trees or palm trees aren't even allowed in certain.
No, and you start to see more and more of them picking, like more people have ignored the restriction and have palm trees. For a while, you weren't allowed to plant palm trees in your front yard or have them be visible. We are starting to see them up.
We'll get into that as a potential con coming up, so stay tuned for that. But the settings up here is beautiful. It's how they built it out. They left a lot of open space. We're on a big open soccer field. We're actually in the main park right here. So down below, you have 2 softball fields. You have a dog park throughout this whole area too. It's rolling hills. So there's views if we're looking towards the west. I keep pointing this way. You guys can't see what I'm looking at. And it's kind of foggy today, but you can see down to the coast down there. And the higher you go up on the hill, so like the town center, once you're in there, not too many views. As you make your way up the hill, it's kind of like tiered going up. So, as you go a little bit higher, all the way up to the estates at the top, there's like crazy views. Probably some of the best views in any houses
like
around
scary
here.
Views.
Like, oh, dude. Yeah. Vanishing edge pools. It is so nice up there. But the whole views and settings, another reason people love it here. So like I said, as they built it out, since it was built in the early 2000s, I think if they built this community now, it'd be so much tighter. There would be a lot less, even space between houses. You have different sizes of homes. So like, some of the smaller ones have littler lots, this kind of thing. But as you go up and up and up, it gets a little more spread out. Once again, it is a master plan community. I mean, the views up here are fantastic. And with the views and the settings, you have, the open space. So when they built it out, it was all planned out, right? And they know where everything's going. So that's a benefit of living up here too. There's no more building. There's like one one little lot in town center. It's kind of been fenced off for a while.
Yeah, it's been a debate.
Yeah, so they've built out, town center is done. There was a few lots there a few years ago. Those are all gone. But you're not going to see new communities pop up in here. This is like what's here is what's here.
And this is one of the few neighborhoods in kind of inland San Diego that has incredible views. And part of those views too is just all this open space around, and that brings us into our next point, which is the trail systems and kind of that outdoor lifestyle here in San Elijo Hills. There are 18 miles of trails just in San Elijo proper. So just within the community, trails to the schools, trails to the town center, everything kind of funnels you back to the town center, but there are a ton of trails that you can explore. And not just that, you've got Double Peak, which is awesome, which is the viewpoint kind of at the top of, and not kind of, it is at the top of San Elijo Hills. And you've got 360 views. You can see there's a really cool painting. I don't know if it's really in that great a shape anymore, but it kind of showed you all of the mountain ranges around Double Peak. And it's really, really cool because on clear days, you can see all of it. You can see a ton of ocean. It's pretty rad up there. And so that trail system can bring you down into like Discovery Hills area, and then this way, kind of near the town center, there's trail systems that take you kind of in that Carlsbad, a Livin area called Copper Creek. So really, really cool amenity here in San Elijo Hills is you can be outside every day, and you can go hiking and find new spots, explore new spots all the time.
Yeah, I don't live in this area, but I come here to jog, to run in some of these hills and stuff. I mean, it's awesome. Like maybe we'll go show a house. I got some extra time, so I'm gonna go hit a trail, right? And there's, like Cassie said, there's like 18 miles just within here, and there's a lot of different little connections, different ways. And it's all suburban hiking, so a lot of them you're seeing like when, you know, you're not out in the woods, you're not getting lost or nothing. Some of them you do feel a little isolated as you get to the ones at the top of the hill over here. They're cool. You don't see the houses. It's like its own little hidden trails up there. So they also have what's the not the king of the mountain, but where they do the trail run that comes down here.
We're
gonna look it up.
Yeah, Double Peak Challenge.
The Double Peak Challenge.
That's the one that gets you to the top of the hill?
Yeah, so it starts at basically the park where we're at right now, goes up the hill, so it's like a race, goes all the way up the hill. There's two ways to do it. You could just stop there or go all the way down. So they do that every year. The trails are awesome. There's not, we're at the main park. There's one other little park up the road, cool little playground and stuff, but there's not, like crazy amount of like pocket parks or hidden parks or anything like that. So you're going to the main parks, but outdoor too, like outdoor, living that San Diego lifestyle on your own property. Like a lot of pools up here, a lot of kind of outside landscaping, outdoor kitchens, just stuff where people are gonna have friends, family over and barbecue. We had some clients move up to one of these view homes. It was awesome. Didn't have a pool. They ended up building a pool over, you've seen it.
Yeah.
Is it
incredible?
Awesome?
Yeah.
Just overlooking down to the coast. And this is the only one. You see that all the time. As you get a little bit higher on the hill, there's a lot of vanishing edge pools. There's just a lot of, what you think of when you're coming to San Diego. We're gonna live outside a lot. We're gonna go swimming during the summers with the kids a lot. We're gonna go barbecuing outside, smoke or use our grills, all that kind of stuff. Not smoke, but use the smoker. So, but yeah, it's just another way, where you're close enough to the coast where you get a little bit of that coastal breeze. You're far enough inland where, today it's overcast, but
it's nice out.
It is still nice, where it's not completely overcast all day like the coast. So it's a good central location right here.
We're gonna get into one of the biggest pros of San Elijo Hills shortly. It might be a con for some people. You can decide for yourself. But one of the main reasons people love living here in San Elijo Hills is the schools. So we mentioned you not having to leave for amenities, for groceries, things like that. You also don't have to leave for school because you have San Elijo Elementary, San Elijo Middle School right here in the town center, just behind us here. So that takes you from K through 8, and it's right here in town. So you've got trails to take you there. A lot of people walking to school. So the dividing line is pretty specific. It's not pretty specific. It is very specific based on where you're living, whether you're going to go up to Double Peak, which is a K through 8 school, or whether you're going to go to the San Elijo school. So definitely want to get that dialed in. If you have kids, and this is really important to you, you got to reach out to us. Even if you don't have kids, just living here in San Elijo Hills, reach out. We have got your back when you're moving here to San Elijo Hills. But you got to start that conversation. So call, text, email. We're the guys that answer the phone, answer those text messages, and we would love to help you start that conversation about moving here to San Diego.
Yeah, finish watching this. So screenshot this on your phone. If you're watching on your phone, screenshot this or take a picture of your TV and then hit us up after. and we got your back.
And we took a look at their website. San Marcos is the number 5 best rated school district in San Diego County, which is awesome. And it really just depends what you want. So a lot of these schools have different programs. I know the PTA for San Elijo Elementary School is insane. They have a STEM teacher, they have a music teacher, they have a really cool drama program. They have just a couple PE teachers, which not every school has, librarian, which not every school has. So there's some really cool programs and stuff that a lot of these schools have that are kind of on top of what you normally would think. And then you also do have the high schools, which are not right here in town. They're a little bit further away. So San Marcos High School would be your main high school for San Elijo Hills. Brand new campus. They just completely tore it down. Chris went there a million years ago.
It was not a brand new campus. No. Yes, it was it was like 1960s portables. Yeah, it wasn't the nicest school, but they ripped all that down. Now it's like a college campus out there. It's really nice. Yeah, for sure. So definitely it's a great district, great school district, and definitely worth taking a look at. And the next reason people love living here is that tight-knit community feel. But it also could be a con. So why could it be a con? I'll get to that in a sec. But up here, it's kind of like Cheers. Everybody knows your name. Walking to school, you're seeing all your friends. Like, I mean, this guy knows it. He's in the thick of it. So even like, just like cruising through town, you're going to run into people, maybe like, you know, at the sushi spot, whatever, at dinner, at sets down there, all that kind of thing. And just cruising around, you know the cars, you know the people, you know the neighbors. They have a ton of events up here. So the HOA takes care of a lot of the yearly events. What do they have here? The
Oktoberfest is kind of the big one. Yeah. They have Hops in the Hills, which is kind of separate from the HOA. It's a ticket you have to purchase, but a really cool event.
What is it?
It's a brewery...
Like beer tasting
festival. Yeah. They do have, I don't know if they still have the Easter egg hunt. They used to have an Easter egg hunt. COVID killed a couple of the events, but they do have movie nights, they have concerts, they have tree lighting is like maybe one of the biggest ones during the holiday season. Is they have a big permanent Christmas tree down in town, and so they light, the fire department every year lights that. It really cool, and food trucks and vendors and all that stuff. Another big thing other than schools and just community events that tie everybody together in San Elijo Hills is a soccer program. So they have AYSO is the rec soccer league that's here in San Elijo Hills. It's all on the fields, either at Double Peak, San Elijo Middle School, here where we're standing, which is Hilltop.
Do they have games
or
here?
San Elijo. Yep.
Oh,
Nice. They have games here. And all the softball fields, they also have soccer. It is a huge league, but it's all essentially San Elijo Hills, which is really cool, and it just ends up being more spots where you see everybody that you know. And then also there is Athletic Soccer Club is previously United, which is the kind of club soccer league that is mostly here in San Elijo Hills.
If you want a little bit of anonymity, you want to kind of be alone, left alone, not having to talk with people every day, this might not be the spot for you, right? You want to be a little more secluded. There's other spots around San Diego that could definitely work for you, where I'm not saying like your neighbors are rude or, you know, it's just like a little more space between, you know, the
You can't have a bad day here.
Yes. People will know. But, you know, like I said, it's not for everybody. Some people like peace and quiet. Some people like a little more, even sort of some rural areas, or areas that maybe not even rural, but just kind of, they've been here a while, they're well established, people live there for a long time, but you don't have that big, huge community feel like you do right here. You heard a lot of the good. Why do people not like here? But what are some of the cons? Does that make sense? Not liking here?
No, I think double negative, but that's okay.
But what are some of the cons about living right here in San Elijo Hills? First, I think one of the biggest ones, and we've kind of hinted at it before, is it's within an HOA. So this whole community has an HOA. And if you're living in the condos and stuff like that, you actually have 2 HOAs. So you have the main San Elijo HOA, then whatever complex you're in down there. So there's a few different little areas.
Or gated neighborhoods too, have their own.
The gated as well, yeah. You got to pay for the gates, but it's not an HOA. Like, you know, chatted with other real estate agents and seen some of their other videos in different places, and they're like, you know, this huge community, and they have this giant pool, like a huge lake in the middle, and all kinds of those kinds of things. This isn't really offer that. You don't have any of those big amenities. You don't have community pool, tennis courts, anything like that. You have the parks here. You have, you know, they take care of maintenance around. There's a ton of trees. They're always doing some sort of work. You know, city takes care of a lot of this too?
I think the HOA takes care of the trees.
Okay. There's a lot of trees to take care of up here.
City of San Marcos handles the park. So like the original developer essentially gifted the parks to San Marcos, and so they handle the maintenance maintenance of the parks.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good thing, right? In a lot of senses, it keeps the cohesiveness of the area, but then you also have restrictions. So if you don't like restrictions, if you want to have a house with a ton of character, this is not your spot. Right. They're all tract homes. They're all look very similar. We kind of mentioned the palm trees earlier. There's actually restrictions on what you can plant in your yards. Over the years, it's gotten a little looser.
Yep, it really takes somebody complaining about it, which you don't see a ton of.
Yeah.
But you do have to get, like for architectural, like if you're painting your house or doing something with your front yard, you do have to get architectural approval. Pretty easy process. We've done it in the past when we painted our house, and when we did a big side yard remodel and pool. So just something, it's another step, another hurdle if you're trying to remodel, but not that hard.
And another thing that we tie in with, it's different, but we like to tie it in the same category, is Mello-Roos. So Mello-Roos is a tax here in a lot of newer communities that you're going to find here in San Diego, but anything kind of 2000s and newer, really. And basically it's a tax. When they built this out, they built the infrastructure, the roads, the plumbing, the sewer, plumbing, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. But they built all that out and they put a bond in, and now people living here are paying off that bond. And so it's for like schools and all that kind of stuff. And it only is here for, what is it? When does it expire up here?
It was originally 35 years, so 2039.
30, yeah. So we still have some time left on those. It's an additional cost that you're gonna have on your property tax bill. So it's not like every month you're paying this. You're paying it twice a year when you pay your property taxes, but it's going to be a little bit higher up here. Now, it's not crazy expensive up here. I've seen some that are a lot higher, but like they do expire, they do fall off after a certain amount of time, but we're not quite there yet.
Another con that people might have for San Elijo Hills is it's kind of isolated, feels isolated. There's only one way in and one way out. San Elijo Road goes all the way through San Elijo and either takes you east or west or kind of north-ish.
Yeah, I don't know which way.
Somewhere on there.
Talk about isolated. I haven't seen anybody out here the whole time we're filming. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday, but
it has that isolated feel, and it's kind of here within a couple of mountains, and that will get us into one of our biggest cons that we'll talk about here in a little bit, but it's really kind of on an island. And
so that brings us to traffic and commute. So first, let's talk traffic. Cassie mentioned the one road in, one road out. So yes, you come off, you're coming in, it's like 45-mile-an-hour zone, and does it even get to 35 or it just drops to 25? It just goes 25. So it's slow in town. Cassie's going to yell at you if you are speeding through here.
It drops
going down
westbound,
the hill.
It drops.
If you're coming down the hill, it goes 45, 35, 25. So anyways, not too many ways. You're not going to find like a ton of all the side roads are just going to houses, right? It's not like a secret way out. I mean, there is, but
there's one, yeah.
Hit us up for that one. But anyways, it's like you're going to get traffic. And since it is, all the schools are literally on the main road. And so during, not rush hour, but school hour, when schools get out, that whole road gets backed up. It's crazy. Actually, during rush hour too, let's say you're getting off work and you're not working in San Elijo. Nobody really works up here. They work. They just don't work in San Elijo.
Yep.
But like coming back in from like the coast or whatever, you're gonna see it's like backed up as you're going into downtown because it's just 1, 2, 3 lights or so. Get red, yellow, and then it just kind of backs up past the gas station up there and just takes a bit longer to get in here. I think the biggest traffic time up there coming over the hill is like during schools because Double Peak is right up there. And that school is actually kind of a bonus con here. That school is kind of a mess like getting in and out of because there's no real parking up there. It's at the top of the hill. The parking lot's kind of small. People are just lined up and down the main road there. And it's
not ideal.
Not ideal.
Yeah. So, I mean, most people, I think that commute somewhere from San Elijo Hills kind of just have to plan accordingly, plan to not be driving right when schools start. I think the morning one's the roughest one, just because there are a lot of people driving in to either going to the coast for work or driving up the hill for work on top of school traffic. So that really is the one that's kind of a mess. So like Chris mentioned, there's not a ton of people that work here in San Elijo Hills, that live in San Elijo Hills. So you're going to be commuting somewhere unless you're working remotely, which a lot of folks here in San Elijo do. But there are pretty easy spots where you can commute. So Sereno Valley is not too bad from here. Kind of Rancho Bernardo, Poway area is not that bad from here. I have a friend that works at Apple, which is a pretty easy commute. And then downtown, that one is going to be a little bit of a hike. I've had a buddy that's worked for the city of San Diego forever. He takes the train down. So he drives to the Carlsbad station, takes the train down so he can get some work done on the way down, work done on the way back. So that is an option too. But I'd say for the most part, not a ton of people commuting all the way to downtown from here.
And now if you're looking for nightlife, a little bit of energy, this is not the spot. There's no real nightlife here, right? I mentioned the town center. What time's that shut down? 9, 10?
Maybe 10 for Sets, which is the bar, maybe 10 for Shane's, but like the brewery closes at 8.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, not much happens after 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so if you want a little bit more of that, the little bit more energy areas are as you get closer to the coast, kind of the downtown areas. Yeah, Carlsbad Village, downtown Encinitas, you know, Lucadia, those types of areas are probably going to be the quickest shots from here. Even the recently up and coming downtown Oceanside is not too far. But those are going to be like, if you're going date nights, if you're going out, if you guys want to go enjoy, you know, a little bit more vibe, a little bit more energy, that's where you're going, because it's not going to happen here.
So this next one is a big one, and it is the risk of wildfire. San Elijo Hills is surrounded by a lot of open space. So there's always kind of that inherent risk of possible wildfires here. I've lived here since 2009, like I mentioned. We've been evacuated one time in 2014, and it was kind of a nightmare getting out of here just because it is one way in and one way out. There was another big fire at the time in Carlsbad, so resources were spread kind of thin in North County in general, which meant that there were some things that were missed. Fire gate wasn't opened, which could have got people out of here a little bit quicker. Didn't end up burning any structures here in San Elijo Hills, but it was touch and go for a little bit. The fire kind of burned right over Double Peak Mountain, and so it is a risk. And fire insurance is going to be a big part of why people might stay away from San Elijo. There's going to be a lot of homes that are in that very high or extremely high fire zone.
What percentage would you say? I would say a big percentage.
A pretty big percentage, yeah. But I mean, as soon as you get into like I'm probably 20 houses away from a canyon, and I'm not in that extremely high fire zone. A lot of the houses that are down kind of near the town center are further away from canyons. So it really just depends where in the community. These are also giant stucco boxes everywhere with tile roofs and all of that. This isn't Palisades, which was all, you know, older homes.
Yeah, you're not going to find like shake shingle roofs or anything like that. The old school kind of how they used to build homes. Yeah,
you're going to find fire sprinklers. You're going to find a lot of that already organized, already planned out construction-wise fire protection too. So don't foresee any major fire issues here, but it is a concern for some people.
And just back to the insurance question. So how much have insurance actually gone up over these past few years as California has got more expensive, as certain big providers have left the state? We just, I think it was last year, closed on a house, and one of the issues was fire insurance. And so we were kind of going through figuring out, not necessarily an issue, but just the cost differential between what it currently was and what the new owners were going to get. And so it was like $3,000 for our sellers that were living there. And the new people who were moving in, it more than doubled. It was like 8,000, 8,500, somewhere in there. So it went up quite a bit. Now it's house to house. Don't think that yours is going to be 8,500 a year or whatever. It really depends. It was a bigger house, high fire zone, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it comes down to specific houses, and, you know, we could help you out. We got a great insurance broker right here to, you know, give you quotes and see where all that is, get all that squared away before you even actually purchase the home. But what we found over the last few years is that this high fire risk is one of the biggest reasons people might not choose San Elijo Hills. So before we get into who this is perfect for and who should not move to this area, let's get into price points real quick. So, like I said, there's a few different, you know, you have the townhome condos. Most of those are, you're gonna find them elsewhere, but most of them are kind of right in the town center. Now that's walkable. Like, so if you want walkable, could be a great little spot for you. Townhome condos, you're looking at like $800,000 to $900,000 starting price point for right now. When you get into single family homes, there's kind of that starter one. It's probably like 1.2, 1.3-ish, going all the way to like 1.9 for as you're getting into bigger homes, as you're getting into certain other neighborhoods. Now, other homes that we're looking at right now at the top of the hill here, those could go way more than that. Like,
and the gated neighborhoods too are kind of like over 2 million for some of those. So yeah, the estates is a whole different price point than the rest of San Elijo. And this, I mean, the sky's the limit on some of those homes.
Yeah, those are big square footage, bigger lots. A lot of them, depending on what side of the hill you're on, have great views. So obviously that's what you're paying for. Big outdoor areas, pools, decks, you know, I mean, like you said, the sky's the limit up there. Yeah, it's great.
Yep. So who's this perfect for? If you want that family-oriented, family-friendly, tight-knit community, if you want really good schools, If you want some hiking, for sure, this is definitely the neighborhood for you. If you're looking for nightlife, if you're looking for a ton of amenities, and if you're looking to be right near the beach, this is probably not the spot for you.
San Elijo Hills is one of those neighborhoods where people really love it right off the bat, or they decide, you know, they know it real quick, this is not the spot for me. And honestly, it comes down to what you value most. So if this could be the spot for you, hit us up. Like you mentioned, I'm Chris Erickson, we got Cassie Lewis here. We are the Livin in San Diego real estate crew, and this is what we do every single week. We help people just like you buy homes right here in San Diego. So hit us up. You can see our number popping up, call, text, email. Let's start that conversation and see if we can help find you the perfect home right here. And maybe it's San Elijo Hills, maybe it's elsewhere, but let's hop on a call and get that figured out.